Please stand for the pledge. Fillmore, do you have the flag?
No.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the
The
United
flag
States
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible,
with
with
liberty
liberty
and
and justice
justice
for all.
for all.
Nice job with that flag, Fillmore.
Thank you, John. I'll tell you about it someday.
Please.
Ooh,
I want to hear that too.
I
yeah.
like the story.
I need a motion to approve the minutes of the November 18th meeting.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
Second.
all in favor? Or discussion, any
Aye.
discussion? Aye. Motion carries.
Aye.
I'm going to forgo my chairman comments. Finance member comments or citizens comments? Nope.
No, wait till the end.
Okay. First order of new business, discuss and take action to approve a request from the Beach and Recreation Department to release funds in the amount of $10,677.34 out of the Harold Strong account to expand the existing sound system at Strong Field. I need it moved.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
discussion.
I think this is a good use of the funds, and I will vote for it. Just a couple of questions from Stacy, or for Stacy. I assume that this reserve account is accumulating some a little bit of interest each month and so on, $1,000 or $2 each year.
Do you have the balance, Stacy, of that account too?
Yeah, the balance currently is about $177,000.
Well, it must be in a stiff account or something.
And have we tapped, I know we tapped into this for some decent money back when we did the Strong Field half dozen years ago. Have we used any of it since then, or is it pretty much stayed intact?
Okay, do you want me to answer it, Stacy?
Sure.
We haven't used it since, I think we put money from the account to help with the bleachers. And you know, this request is coming from the Strong Center group for people are not able to hear in the plaza by the concession stands, and they cannot hear over by the scoreboard. That's why we're trying to expand it. And this is what Livewire is the company that we used initially for the sound system installation, and we're going with their recommendation. And I believe we're going to be able to shut things down. So with youth football, if they're going to be using the sound system, or youth soccer or whatever, we can shut speakers down. So it's not going to be a typical Friday night blast. So I think they're a solid company. That's where we originated from, along with the press box.
How old is the sound system?
Well, the sound system was installed when the field was done.
Oh, okay.
That's it. It's the same vintage.
Yep, good.
All right.
Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Scott. Next, review the 2021-2022 CIP committee process and budget process. Any questions on that? Good? Yep.
Justin, you are our representative on the CIP. Is there anything of note that's going on in the CIP program that we should know about?
So far, there's really nothing new. I would say, from memory, technology, communications, bits and pieces here and there, mostly kind of COVID-related upgrades like video monitors, et cetera. Nothing new with regard to Madison Hose Company, but they did talk again about possible expansion of their building downtown. But that, I believe, has all been kind of pushed back a little bit, a couple of years even, so planning dollars have been pushed back. And so the actual budget, when it's known, is not even on the schedule yet. So it's like 1 year beyond our schedule, but it's still there and something that they certainly think they will want to do. But just going through the planning process. And then the other thing, I don't know that it's new, but we all know that the Madison Hose docks have been installed. So they were actually on schedule to get a replacement boat this year for about $100,000, or this year, 21, 22. But they've asked to delay that a year so that they can kind of reevaluate what their boat needs might be in terms of size and functionality. Now that they have a bigger dock, they might be able to accommodate a bigger boat. So they're gonna delay the request a year just to give them the time to evaluate what's their best option and then come back to us. Those are the only two things I would say.
Have we been saving for that boat, whatever that boat looks like?
That
been in the
boat has
plan, right?
been in there
Okay.
for a while, but we did get notice last week that they're looking to push it out to research to see if, exactly what their needs are.
Yeah, I mean, the only bad news about that is that because there's the bigger dock, they're likely going to look at a boat that is probably more expensive than the one that we've currently been saving for. But again, that's an issue we'll probably be discussing next year.
Okay.
Right.
Any other questions for Justin or Jude? Any questions about the budget process? Okay, review of financials, Stace.
Yeah, I was kind of going to just give you guys the floor if you have any questions on the financials for this month. The one thing I did want to update you on is we found out today that we're getting an extra $113,000 from OPM. That's over the $269,000 that we got originally. So we did put in for that request today, and hopefully we will see those funds come in, and that's for reimbursement for COVID expenses through the CARES Act.
So that'll go right into the undesignated fund balance?
Yep.
Will this basically offset those half a dozen special appropriations we approved last month?
I think the majority of those were from the hurricane. But yes, any expenses that we have put in for COVID, these funds will go directly into fund balance to help with those. So all COVID so far, even from last fiscal year, have been reimbursed through OPM/FEMA.
Okay.
That's great. Stacy, are you also submitting for the Board of Education's increased cost for COVID? Is it all going in one? Okay, just wanted to make sure.
Yes, it's a different revenue stream, but yes, there's ESSER funds as well as CRF funds, strictly for Board of Education expenditures, which is well over $700,000. So yes, we are submitting reimbursement requests for those funds as well.
And we did get some funds already for Board of Ed, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Any other questions about financials?
Yes, Stacy, I did not get any financials emailed out, but I'm just wondering how the tax collections are going.
Tax collections are right on track. Sorry, Fillmore, I know we were a little bit late getting them to Lauren to send out. So we can definitely get those out in the morning.
What is it you guys do all day?
I don't know. But yes, tax collections are right where we are have anticipated. In addition to that, we have the audit going on just since Jean asked. We do have the audit going on. We're trying to finalize that. That will be presented to your board next month. Things are, a little bit slow this year. We have that going on, as well as Munis. We're going
Oh, is
live.
Munis.
Yep, we're going live for payroll, for our first payroll in January. So that's a little bit of stress going on in my office. Other than, we're in the heat of the Board of Ed budget process, as well as the town. The town is due to my office this Friday. So we're kind of getting things rolling for the upcoming budget season.
Good. Thank you.
Yep.
Any other questions? Liaison reports? Any liaison?
Yeah, one very quick from the library board. They're still making progress on their capital campaign, and they're down to being only minus 78,000. I think in previous months it's been up in a 6-digit number. So they're still making progress in getting their capital paid for, and they feel very confident that they've got it under control.
Good.
Good.
What else? I was at the Board of Ed meeting last night, and their finance committee meeting. They started to talk about the budget, and I just kind of told them what we were looking at. There were some questions over the SPED budget that we'll continue to look at, and they will, of course, be presenting to us. But they are moving along, and as you said, Stace, they're pretty far into completing it, and what their recommended budget will be.
Yeah, just to piggyback on that, we're pretty much done with the administration's recommendation, went to finance just for an update. And then after the new year, we will have 2 Board of Ed workshops to continue that process.
Good. First Selectwoman.
Okay, thank you. I'll do a real brief overview. As Stacy said, budgets, we're on target to get things finalized. And we've met with most departments. I still have to meet with the library. I think I'm meeting with tomorrow to review things. So we're working through that. We did receive a formal request from the OLM people to renew the lease for their second year. We discussed it briefly at the Board of Selectmen meeting, and then our first meeting in January, we will have a more further discussion. We're also expecting at that meeting a report back from the Island Avenue Committee, so we can have a better idea about kind of what the path and track is on the long-term use of the school, and then figure out where we want to move forward in terms of the lease renewal. So this is just the second year renewal, which would be in the exact same terms as the first year in the lease. We are working through these studies still. The facilities study, this is might be more familiar, but is taking a little bit longer. And so they're hoping to get a draft to the committee that was involved in early January. And my advice to them was to focus on immediate priority issues that we might need in terms of CIP. And if there was any immediate action items, so at least we could have that feedback and feed into the CIP process. And so they're working on that. An interesting thing came up on the governor's call tonight, that they're putting out an executive order about allowing for an extension for tax payments again. So I had no idea that they were going to be providing that for these mid-year payments. It was not a lot of detail. To be honest, I haven't heard anything about any thoughts on doing this. So that's a possibility, and we will update you as I learn more about that, but that might be impacting the January deadlines that we have. And then, I'll update you on the early retirement program later, because that's
An executive.
we know exactly who's going to be participating in that. So that's my
Okay.
update.
Great, thank you. Any citizens' comments, Lauren?
There are none.
Okay, I need a motion to move into executive session.
Can I ask a couple, excuse me, Madam Chair, can I ask you just a couple of questions before we go executive?
Sure.
Stacy, have we gotten the actuary report from the pension, about the pensions yet?
Yes, we have been working with the pension with Milliman, and we're just about ready to present to you guys what they're coming up with. Peggy and I had calls with them regarding some options, lowering the interest rate assumption as well as perhaps extending the amortization period. So once we wrap our arms around that, we'll definitely report that back to you.
Okay, and thank you. And I guess you don't have the final town audit yet, so the fund balance status is still a little bit soft at the moment.
Yeah, I don't expect any changes from the last presentation of where fund balance was.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you,
So
Dean.
I do have a question for you, Stacy, on our insurance, the medical insurance. How is COVID affecting our numbers with that?
No, I haven't gotten much updates from them for this current fiscal year, but our health insurance fund is very healthy. I think last time I reported to you all, we had about $3 million over our goal. So it's pretty
Less
good.
and less
I
people are
don't,
going to the doctor.
less people are
Yeah.
going to the doctor. We're having more remote calls, screen, unscreen type of things. So no, it really has not impacted our claims to date.
Wow. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Any other questions? Okay, so now I need a motion to enter into executive session, and I'd like to invite Peggy Lyons, Austin Hall, and Stacy Nobitz into executive session.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Lauren, you don't need to come, right? You do? Okay.
Yeah,
and
just
Lauren
because if
Rines.
I leave, then it ends your whole meeting.
Oh, so you have to come.
Yeah.
Okay, and Lauren Rines. Okay. Good? Are we in executive?
You're